Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horne. And I bring you a video tonight titled Negotiating Sex is the Cardinal Sin. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available on my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. Continue to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You already know I'll interact with you in the comments, and we're developing a great community over here. But let's get right to it. Negotiating sex is the cardinal sin, and it's the cardinal sin because it's the sin of all sins. It's the sin that introduces an imbalanced dynamic that makes you suffer. It's really that simple. And when it comes to sex or any negotiation, whoever introduces the negotiation, in their mind, they have the leverage. So if a woman can give you terms in order to have sex with her, she's already telling you that she sees herself as above you, as having more value than you. And that's why she introduced the terms of negotiation. And this is dangerous because the dynamic that you establish in the very beginning of the interaction, that's the dynamic that's going to exist. It's going to pervade the interaction. You can't escape the initial dynamic that was established. And typically, it's the woman who introduces her rules of engagement in order for you to have sex with her. And the man, he acquiesces, he agrees to her terms, and he loses the negotiation. But realistically, when two people desire one another in the same fashion, there's recognition and there's no negotiation when it comes to sex. You all view each other as each other's first choice and ultimate picture of desire. And that's why there's no negotiation, and that's why you can have sex with each other. It's not like you're having sex with her, but you have sex with each other because you all desire each other in that fashion, and negotiations are never put on the table because she views you as a gift. I'll take it a little deeper. When a woman desires you sexually, she doesn't introduce terms of engagement, or she doesn't introduce negotiations, because in her heart, her mind, and her soul, she believes she's winning the interaction. Because when she encounters a sexually attractive man who is a departure from the men that she normally encounters, then she views you as a gift, and she views you as an entity and a man that she doesn't want to lose. She doesn't want to lose the experience of you, so negotiations never enter her mind because she's already won the negotiation in her mind because she has an optimal sexually attractive man that she can have sex with. So she's not going to introduce terms to you. She's not going to look at the interaction in lieu of negotiations, because in her mind, in her spirit, in her soul, she's already won the negotiation because she gets the pleasure of experiencing you. Let that sink in. She gets the pleasure of experiencing you. And so that's why you should only deal with women who view you as the ultimate gift. Because when you're an ultimate gift, she's winning. No rules of engagement enter her mind. No terms of negotiation leave her mouth. She's fully satisfied by being able to be in your presence. Think about how strong of a statement that is. She's fully satisfied. And when a woman is not satisfied with you, she has to introduce terms of engagement. She has to introduce negotiations because she thinks she's more valuable than you, and she's looking for compensation to compensate for her lack of desire for you. And so you have to take offense when a woman introduces rules of engagement and negotiations in order to have sex with her. She's saying, I'm more valuable than you, and I'm not that attracted to you. You have to compensate. And as a sexually attractive man, you are the gift. And you've been the gift to enough women to understand that you will never negotiate with a woman when it comes to sex. Women do not negotiate gifts. Women inhale and they're thankful for gifts. And so if you're not a gift to the woman, do not engage with her. And you know you're not a gift when she introduces rules of engagement, which is negotiations. And so you never want to interact with a woman like that. Because when she sees you as her optimal first choice, a thought to negotiate never enters her mind. And so once the woman introduces her terms in order to have sex with her, you automatically know that you are not the optimal man that she desires. But rules of negotiations only work with men who do not desire themselves. Men who desire themselves are always looking at the level of the mutual desirability that exists between him and the woman that he's in the presence of. And so if a woman desires you and you desire her the same way, everything is neutral. There are no negotiations. Sex is natural, and it happens instantly. Because you can't allow a woman to glorify sex, to say, oh, all of these different things have to surround sex. It's important to me. A woman's rules are suspended when she encounters the optimal sexually attractive, desirable man. So if she's asking for compensation, she's looking at you as a man that she can manipulate who does not desire himself. If you desire yourself, then rules of engagement in order to engage in sex are foreign to you, and you dismiss that woman quickly, promptly, immediately. This is a very serious matter, because if you engage in negotiations and you accept her rules of engagement, you're setting a foundation. You're setting a dynamic in which you are going to suffer. And you're going to suffer immediately, because once the rules of engagement and the dynamics are introduced, you're always going to have to jump through more hoops, because you're compensating for her lack of desire for you, her lack of sexual attraction to you. And then you're going to pay on the back end, because she's going to dismiss your ass eventually, because you're not her first choice. She's biding time with you until she meets the man that she would never think to introduce rules of engagement to. You're a placeholder. Placeholders pay penalties on the front end and the back end. On the front end, you're going to have to suffer the disrespect of her being frustrated for her lack of ability to get the man that she really wants. You're going to suffer. She's going to make you suffer every day. You're going to have to eat shit every day, because you're not her first choice. And that's why she introduced terms of negotiation, rules of engagement, offerings. That's why she thinks she's more valuable than you, because you are not valuable to yourself. That doesn't work on a sexually attractive man. The sexually attractive man is immediately turned off when a woman gives any inclination that he is not enough. Anything in the material world, any offerings, times, gifts, whatever she's asking for, that she asks from you, it's an immediate turnoff to the man who's mastered himself, who has a full understanding of himself. And we can look at something as simple as what's going on in the United States right now. You look at President Trump. President Trump is not negotiating tariffs. President Trump is introducing demands to other nations to get in line or get left behind. Those are demands. Those are not negotiations. They're just technically called tariffs in negotiations, but he's giving proclamations in terms of the understanding of the value of the United States versus the rest of the world. The rest of the world needs us more than we need them. That's why he introduced the tariffs. The tariffs say you're going to have to pay your just due if you're going to get into the space of the United States and benefit. So he's not negotiating. Other countries are coming to the table and saying, we're going to pay our just due. We're going to pay our entry fee in order to benefit from the value of the United States. That's what's going on right now. I'm not trying to get too political. I'm just a third-party observer of what's going on right now. Trump is using leverage. The rest of the world needs us more than we need the rest of the world. They've been ripping us off. And now it's time for them to pay their just due. And that's how you have to come to the table. You can't allow a woman to rip you off. If you're a sexually attractive man, you understand your place in the food chain. You understand that women do not have access, regular access to men who are together spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and everything that they exude from their essence is the energy of their understanding of themselves, the man that they've elevated into. They don't meet those men often. And so you are in the position of leverage. And when you have leverage, you just present yourself, you don't negotiate. And that's what's going on in our country right now. That's why things are turning around. Interest rates are a little bit lower. Gas prices are down. Because yes, everyone is lining up and submitting to the reality of the leverage, meaning that they don't have room to negotiate. They only have room to meet the demands. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do as a man. Develop yourself into a man that you have experiences on a regular basis that show you your place in the food chain, that show you your value. And when you understand your value, no one can negotiate you outside of the awareness that you have of yourself. That's why sexually attractive men do not engage in negotiation. And negotiating for sex it's a cardinal sin. It's a sin that's going to set you back. It's a sin because you don't have an awareness of yourself. You have not developed yourself into a man that has regular experiences with the type of women you're attracted to that view you as a gift. And they're winning the interaction. If a woman is winning the interaction in her mind, in her spirit, in her soul, she's not introducing terms of negotiation. She's not introducing terms because she's winning the negotiation. She gets the luxury of the experience with the captivating man that she doesn't encounter often. And so if she's introducing terms, she doesn't view you as that man. You have to accept that. You have to accept that. And if you don't accept that, you're going to be an inferior man. An inferior man listens to woman's terms of negotiation, accepts her terms of negotiation to get a whiff of that pootie. And then she knows you don't respect yourself, so then she's going to run wild on you. Whatever term she introduced is just the beginning. There's going to be more terms and more terms. There's always going to be terms because the interaction, the dynamic of the initial interaction was imbalanced and it was in her favor. That's why you can never engage in sexual negotiations with any woman. You lose. You lose automatically because you have an inability to accept yourself in the realities that surround you. You have an inability to understand your value. And if you don't value yourself, everything that comes in proximity of you, everything that you enter the presence of is not obligated to value either. Success in life, success with women, it begins with a healthy perception and awareness of yourself. And if you don't have that, you're constantly going to be imbalanced and dissatisfied. That's how it's going to be. And some of you men are in imbalanced situations with women right now. You ate her shit, and you know what I'm talking about because you're continuing to eat her shit in the name of you getting that pussy and keeping that pussy. You're eating shit. You're tolerating disrespect. You're tolerating imbalance. You're tolerating chaos. And so some of you men that are listening to me right now, you're going to have to reclaim your space. You're going to have to reclaim your power in the spaces you have with the women that you're interacting with. You're going to have to let these women know, I understand my value. I have not been getting in return what I've been giving to you, and I'm not afraid to lose you. I want to take a sip on that. Cheers. You stand firm in negotiations when you're not afraid to lose any woman. You stand firm in the reality that there are no negotiations if you're not afraid to lose any woman and you're more afraid of losing yourself. If you have a sense of self, you will not lose yourself, meaning that no one can negotiate you out of yourself. Once you understand your value and the world responds to you in terms of what your actual value is, and you're not delusional, you've developed yourself into a man that can consistently get the return that he's given to the world. Your interactions are balanced. When you become that man, then you're in a perpetual state of satisfaction and fulfillment. But the men who do not accept themselves are in a perpetual state of frustration. Because if a woman doesn't see you enough, you're never going to be enough, which means you're always going to have to do more to keep her. Because she's established herself as the more valuable entity in the interaction. And once you allowed her to establish herself as more valuable than you, you're always going to have to do more. And it's going to get frustrating. Because no matter what you do, it's never enough. But once the woman views you as the gift, and she feels as if she's winning the interaction, you're always going to be fulfilled because she's in a perpetual state of thankfulness because she doesn't have to interact with the lesser men that have surrounded her before she met you. You're a calm and safe space for her. You're a desirable space for her because she understands the magnitude of man that you are. And if you don't understand the magnitude of man that you are, and you don't develop yourself into a magnitude of a man, you will be in a perpetual state of frustration because you will always negotiate sex. That's why men are sleeping on the couch in relationships and married. They're negotiating sex. And she's not satisfied with the man. Oh, you didn't take the trash out. No sex for you. You left the light on. No sex for you. He says, yes, ma'am. Where do I have to sleep tonight? Bitch ass shit. Masculine men are solid. They're not going for that stuff. Sexually attractive men, they're a gift to a multitude of women. That's why they're always in the space of a multitude of women. And even if they don't have regular women that they're engaging with, they're never far away from it because they're constantly letting women go who are negotiating. So they're at peace even in the drought because the drought is not going to last for long because they're a recognizable man in which women are not going to introduce terms of negotiation to. Your experiences are steady. Your experiences are predictable. So if a woman introduces terms in order to have sex with her and she introduces negotiation, it's foreign language. You heard me say it before, she's talking Chinese. And it's really as simple as that. And then you're going to bump heads with some men. And I'll end it on that. You're going to bump heads with some men. As a sexually attractive man who doesn't negotiate sex with women, who women regularly offer themselves to, you're going to bump heads with the average man. As a sexually attractive man, you're typically a solo man because men can't stomach or handle your presence because you're moving at a different frequency than them. And so the men that observe you, the men that you're around on a regular basis, the men that you're in proximity to, they're going to challenge you. They're going to be frustrated with your presence because you are a constant reminder that they are negotiating sex. And you're a constant reminder that they're negotiating sex because women are offering sex to you with no negotiation right in front of their face. The jealousy and the hatred and the vitriol is going to overcome them. You're going to be in conflict with other men when you don't negotiate sex because you don't have to. They watch women offer themselves to you right in front of your face. women that they wanted to get with, women that they've been taking on dates because women told them that they have to do. Those same women, once they see you, are going to offer themselves to you. So there's going to be conflict. And that's what comes with the sexually attractive man who does not engage in negotiations, because he is the optimal gift. You can't negotiate when you have a realistic perception of yourself that's aligned with the experiences that you regularly have. It's impossible to negotiate. You just drop women off. And then, of course, women try to come back, but you don't let them in, because if a woman doesn't have an immediate recognition of the man that you are, she does not belong in your space. A woman cannot have a delayed realization of who you are. She doesn't have that luxury. Her negotiations worked against her. And that's what happens when people let their ego and their pride into negotiations. They lose. You have to be realistic and you have to be practical. And when a woman is in full recognition of who you are, she's thankful and she's realistic and she's practical. She's saying, I don't want to lose this man. And when you encounter an entity that you don't want to lose, you do not introduce terms of negotiation. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach, bringing you a video tonight titled, Negotiating Sex is the Cardinal Sin. I promise you, it will set the foundation, it will set the dynamic for a perpetual, frustrating experience. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available on my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. And if you want me to make a custom video on a particular topic, I see you all in the comments. It doesn't end. If you want me to make a video on a particular topic, you make a donation of $50 or more to my PayPal or my Cash App that's in my video description. Leave your subject matter that you want me to speak on in the note feature on PayPal or Cash App, and then make a donation. And then I will put your video on my channel, Matthew C. Horne Dating, in 24 hours or less. And if your subject matter is more in-depth than just leaving a note on PayPal or Cash App, you still make your donation, and then you email me at matt@matthewchorne.com with your more in-depth description of what you want me to speak about in your video. And then I will make your video in 24 hours or less. Everything is streamlined. Everything is fast over here. Your video will be on my channel in 24 hours or less. If my message has been of value to you and your thought process has been elevated in this particular video, then you make your donation to my PayPal or my Cash App that's in my video description. I'll never tell you what to donate. However you've been impacted by my message, then you go ahead and donate accordingly. That's all I ever ask. If you're in need of coaching, if my voice resonates with you, and you know that you have different challenges that you've been unable to overcome in the dating space, I'm your man. I'm your dating coach. I'm your catalyst to get to the other side of your challenges in the dating space and enter into the realm of satisfaction and fulfillment. It's there for you all. I'm your dating coach. If you need the coaching, email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. Put coaching in the subject matter. Leave your name, your phone number, and whatever issue that you're facing in the dating space. And then I will do the assessment and get right back to you with the terms of the coaching. And once you accept the terms, the coaching will begin immediately. Everything is easy. It's streamlined over here. And I'm still looking for 5 individuals for my year-long mentorship program. The slots are filling up. I do have some available slots. If I don't speak about this in the end of my videos, just understand those spots have been filled up. Okay? I'm looking for 5 individuals who want to have multiple coaching calls throughout the week, who want to have face-to-face Zoom sessions, who also want to meet up with me in person, and we can approach women in the field. I can assess you and give you guidance in the moment. This is very in-depth. It's life coaching, it's dating coaching, it's around the clock. In addition to the multiple coaching calls that you get throughout the week, This is for the duration of a year. This is a year-long mentorship dating coaching program. In addition to the coaching that you're going to get multiple times throughout the week, you'll also be able to call me at any time. You can be in a situation with a woman. You can have something that you need immediate guidance on. You have 24-hour access to me. That's why I can only take on 5 people, because I only have the bandwidth for 5 people, because I'm giving so much of my expert self to you. If you're interested in the mentorship program, which is the duration of a year, email me at matt@matthewchorne.com and leave mentorship in the subject matter, and just tell me a little bit about yourself and where you are and where you want to be. I'll make an assessment and I'll call you, and then we can see if we're a good fit to work with one another for the duration of a year. Magical things are going to happen in this mentorship program. You give me a year of your life, and I promise you, you will never be the same. Lastly, my dating coaching community, Matthew C. Horne Dating Coaching Community, is on the school platform. In that particular community, magical things are happening. We're having a great time. It's growing. We have a community of men who are perpetually looking to improve themselves and have elevated outcomes in the dating space. In that particular space, you're going to get 2 exclusive dating videos from me every week. Things I do not put on YouTube will be in this community. And there's a collection of videos. So whenever you sign up, you can access the archive, as well as catch up to the 2 new videos that I'm going to have in the community every week. In addition to that, every Monday at 8 p.m., we have a Zoom coaching session. I introduce a particular topic, I speak on it briefly, and then you all can ask me questions for the duration of an hour every week. Every week. And you all can even introduce different topics that you want me to speak on in the community. And I make videos on that in the community. It's a very fulfilling and perpetually moving forward type of space. It's a progressive space. So if you're interested in joining my dating coaching community, then you can just go ahead and click the link that's going to be in the video description that's designated for my dating coaching community. And also I'm going to pin the details of how to sign up as well in the top of the comments in the chat. And that's all I have for you. Understand, sexually attractive men, they don't engage in negotiations for sex. A woman doesn't require negotiations or introduce negotiations when you're her optimal sexual choice. She's winning the interaction, and she doesn't want to negotiate when she knows that she's winning. And she's winning because she's encountered the departure of a man, the sexually attractive man who's clicking on all cylinders. And especially if you want to become that man, you need to hit me up for coaching. But when she meets that man, negotiations never enter her mind, because pleasure is her optimal outcome. I'll see you all soon.